Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Hilda.
And in studio with us we have Layla. Layla, if somebody needed to contact us, what would they need to do?
For math homework help, call in Bakersfield 636-4357. Everyone else 1-866-636-6284. Email dothemath@corn.org. We're online at dothemathonline.net and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, nicely done. Thank you for taking care of that for us, because sometimes Hilda and I will do it and we stumble all over it. So nice job on that. So Layla, where do you go to school and what grade are you in?
I go to school at Panama Elementary and I'm in 5th grade.
All right, how's 5th grade going?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, what do you like about 5th grade the most?
I like the type of math we're doing.
Okay, what kind of things are you doing in regular math right now?
We're dividing 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers.
And you like doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Is there anything that you have done earlier this year that you think you might need a little more work on?
No.
So you've been doing pretty well with 5th grade math so far?
Yeah.
All right, good. And I understand that you also are a student in another class, a gifted class, and you're working with positive and negative numbers in that also?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we'll do a little bit of that today too, if you're all right with that. So the best thing about that class, though, is I understand that you get to go on field trips. So where did you go? You actually went today, and you had to kind of move to get here today on time. So where did you go today for your field trip?
We went to NASA.
The JPL in Pasadena?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you like most about that field trip?
I liked the different spots we went to in the place. They had a lot of cool stuff.
So what's one thing that kind of sticks out in your mind as far as fun things that you did there?
Towards the end, when we got to see like a robot they were building.
Oh, so you can see the things that they're actually getting ready to send into space, the things that they're working on right now.
Yeah.
Good, because I remember a couple of years ago they were able to go, and the rover that is actually on Mars now was in Pasadena when the students were able to go and check it out and stuff like that. So good, I'm glad you had an opportunity to do that. All right. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. If you phone in to do the math and we do one of your math problems on air, you will receive a free pass to Holiday Lights at Com. And this is a tradition that has been going on for a long time in Kern County, and a lot of adults bring their kids, and even now grandparents that brought their kids, and now they're bringing their grandkids to Holiday Lights at Com. And you can see some of the footage right there, and those of you that may not have been in the last year or so, it is a drive-through experience. So no longer walking through Com, that's reserved for autumn nights. But even though it's a different experience, it's still a great experience, because we went last year and it's still great to see all of the different decorations and lights that they've got. And Josh Barnett still with the how many millions of lights they've got out there is just phenomenal. And how they were able to transform everything from a walkthrough with all of the different exhibits at Com and get it all into a drive-through experience was just astonishing. And it's just a great, great time. So we have this week, next week, and I think that's it. And then we may have another week after that. All right, so you've got 3. All right, so you've got 6 opportunities to get your family a free pass to go to Holiday Lights at Com. All you have to do is give us a call. We do one math homework problem with you. You win a pass for your family.
That's
Pretty
nice.
good deal, isn't
Yeah.
it? All right. Hey, you know what? Before we get Layla going to work, let's first take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, today's Math in the News has to deal with actually last week, because last Friday was, now you know what last Thursday was, right?
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
I'm like,
So last
yes.
Friday, don't say the day after Thanksgiving.
I was going to say that.
What is that day better known as?
Oh, Black Friday.
Oh,
Sorry.
Black
It took me a second.
Oh, there we go. Now I
Yes.
can do it.
Shocking.
You have taken part in Black Friday before
I have.
Yeah,
I
nice.
have.
Okay.
Yes.
So I figured there's a lot of math in that, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the numbers behind it. So e-commerce stayed strong as far as that kind of spending. Americans spent over $9 billion shopping online on that one day. One day. There you go. You ring that cash register a lot right there. $9 billion online. That's not even the people that are out at the stores. A 2.3% increase from last year. And I found some photos of people, obviously not online, but the people that are going out to the stores to get those goods. So, and everyone needs, or at least wants, the newest gadgets, right? So, some of the heaviest discounts was on electronics. So that jumped over 200% on Black Friday compared to an average October day. So I just got some of the things down here. Do you play electronic games like these kinds of things? Do you play any of these?
Yeah.
Which ones do you play? They may not be on here, but
I like playing on Nintendo Switches.
Nintendo? All right. So here, just some different examples that I found, and then they've got ratings, obviously, for games, just like they do for movies, right? But here's the big one. Remember when getting a computer was a big thing, right? You don't need a desktop anymore, or even a laptop. Phones accounted for 48% of all purchases.
Wow.
So now remember, Black Friday online purchases were over $9 billion. Okay? Phones are 48% of that. So just let's say it's half of it.
Yeah.
So that is over $4 billion being spent online on phones.
Wow.
And I found some photos of people using phones, and obviously I try not to get anybody with their faces there, but a lot of people are becoming quite adept at using their thumb for different things on the phone, right? Have you used a phone, a cell phone? I'm sure you have, right? You're a fifth grade kid,
Yeah.
right? What fifth grade kid hasn't, right? And most of them probably have their own phones, but the one thing that cracked me up is this last photo, because you can see the person's head is kind of tilted downward towards the phone. So I was announcing a game the other night and watching people in the stands. And as the game is going on, I kid you not, there were some people, so they had their phone, right? And they're like this. Okay, the game is going on. And they're like this for a long time, right? Not even watching the game. So I'm thinking pretty soon people's postures are going to become more kind of curved shoulder, the neck down like that, and becoming quite adept at the thumb only being used. But anyway, that is today's Math in the News. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Layla is a 5th grade student from Panama Elementary, and you said that right now you're working on division,
Yes.
doing 4 digits divided by 2 digits.
Yes.
So are you comfortable? We'll try one of those?
Yeah.
All right, head on over to the board. You and Hilda are going to work on one of these.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do, Layla. The year is 2022, so let's do 2022
Good.
divided by So Layla, and we will allow remainders here. We're not going to continue with decimal points and things like that. Select a number between 3 and 8. 4. So we're just going to go single digit right now. So show us how you would solve 2022 divided by 4, and explain it to Hilda as you go through.
So first, I would see if 4 can go into 2, which it can't, so I'd add a 0 at the top. And then I would see if 4 can go into 20, and 4 times 5 equals 20. So you add a 5, and then you subtract 20, it leaves you a 0, and you bring down what's left. And 4 can't go into 2, so put a 0. Then I would bring down the other 2. And then 4 can't go into 20. Well, it can't go into 22. But the closest you can get is 20. And then I would subtract 20 and be left with 2. And there's no numbers left, so it'd be 2 over 4.
Oh, good. So I like how you did that with the 2/4, right? So it's 505 and a half, actually, right? So nicely done. I really especially like that you put a 0 when 4 didn't go into 2. Because a lot of times people will go, oh, we'll just bring down the other 2, and that'll work, all right? So here's the deal we have going for you today. So because you got that problem correct, you've got yourself 1 point. Now, you will be able to gain prizes from Do the Math based on how many points you received today. So head on over to the Do the Math board, and you're going to take one of those tokens and you're going to drop it. Before you drop it, though, you have to select which color do you think it might drop on. So which one do you think it'll drop on?
Yellow.
Yellow. All right. Now, if it drops on yellow, we're going to double your points, so you'll have 2 instead of 1. All right? Oh, you hit red that time. All right. Well, come on back. We're going to go to the next problem. So, why did you select yellow? Any reason?
Because I thought that it might go more over to the side.
Okay, so you thought it may have just bounced, kept on going over to that side? Okay, well, erase the board. Let's do the next problem. Oh, use the eraser, and then you can make that big circle.
There you go.
All right, so let's try another problem. So, I don't want to ask you your birth year, so let's go with Layla's birth year.
Okay.
Layla, what year were you born?
2011.
2011. So let's go 2011. Now we're going to do 2 digits in here, all right, instead of just a single digit. So, what 2-digit number would you like to divide by?
28.
28. Excellent. I wouldn't have gone that high, but if you want to go that high, go ahead. All right. So, explain to Hilda how to do it. If you need help, Hilda's right there.
Okay, so 28 can't go into 2, so I put a 0. And then 28 can't go into 20 either, so I put another 0. And I have to figure out if 28 can go into 201. So something close would try 3. And then I'll probably do that, or I'll do that again because it's not close. Try 6. So that seems close, but I think I'll do it one more time just to double check.
Okay.
I think that's the closest you can get. So that was 7, and I'll subtract 196. So you're left with 5, and then you have to bring down what's left. We'll do 28 times 2. See if that's close. Okay, so that's more, so that means 20 can only go in one time, and I subtract 28. So 23 is left, and you can't do 23 divided by 28. So
There you go, nicely done.
Yes, very nice.
So, were you impressed with that?
I was impressed. I was very impressed.
So we'll give her 2 for that one then.
Okay, yes. We're
So
going to give
the
you 2
points
points.
now are 3. All right, young lady, you want to go try it again? All right.
Go, Layla.
Now, it's up to you. You can either take that token out or leave it there.
take it out.
Where do you think it's going to drop now?
Green.
Green. Now, before you do that, why are you selecting green?
Because I'm going to try to just go right over green.
So you're going to try and go right over the green, and that's the one right in the middle, basically, kind of in the middle, right? So if I said to you, I want blue, would I have any advantage if I said blue? Taking a look at the options that are down there.
No, not really.
No? What if I said red? Would I have any advantage over you? Like you say green, I say red.
Yeah, because there's 2 reds.
Right, there's 2 of them, right? So I have a better shot at getting red or blue. So you still want to stay with green?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, drop it. Ooh,
Oh, so close.
that was close on that one. All right,
close.
come on back over. We have time for one more problem. Go ahead and erase the board. There you go. Just make big circles and just remember wherever you start, you end, and that'll make it easier. All right. So get rid of those little red marks up there.
He doesn't like the marks.
So Layla, I understand that in your other class you're working with negative and positive numbers. So this is something that isn't part of your regular classroom. So we're going to introduce you or work with you on something that you've started, but help you out a little bit with it. All right. So Hilda and you are going to come up with some positive and negative numbers, pretty much an expression, and you're going to evaluate it to see what it comes out to be. All right, Hilda, you ready?
All right, yes.
All right.
All right, so you want to grab this pen and let me I can start it. Let's go with -5. And then what do we want to add or subtract? What do you think? What are the numbers?
Oh, now
Okay.
talk about if the -2 should be in parentheses or if you want to leave it like that.
What do you think, Layla?
And
Yeah, I think that will help me. Okay.
And let's add another number to it also.
All right, another number. Let's go with +5.
All right, so go ahead and just evaluate that and let's see how you do. So
Okay.
Layla, you explain to Hilda how you want to do this. And if you get stuck or sidetracked, that's what Hilda's there for.
Okay.
so I just want to ask 2 positive or 2 negatives equal to positive, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so that would equal +3, and then +5 would equal 8.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to this because you asked me a question. You said 2 negatives equal a positive. Where do you see those 2 negatives? Which 2 negatives are you talking about?
These 2.
Right here in red,
Yeah.
these 2. And so did you rewrite that like in your mind? Were you thinking, what did you think about this right here?
I thought that 2 negatives equal a positive, but I wasn't for sure, so I just wanted to ask.
Okay, so then were you thinking -5 plus 2 now?
I was thinking of -2 minus 2, or I was thinking of 5 minus 2,
Okay, and then why did you think of 5 minus 2?
because it was going to equal a positive.
Okay, so where did you get this 3 right here?
From 5 minus 2.
So 5 minus 2, okay.
So it makes sense what she's saying, right?
that-
She's thinking it's 5 minus 2.
Okay.
So go ahead and
Yes.
figure out the parentheses and
Okay. So I'm going to use these two negatives make a positive. Can I rewrite your thinking really quick? And so I'm going to leave the -5. This becomes a +2. Is that correct? Am I capturing your thinking there? Okay, and then we have the +5. So can I use a number line? Is that okay to show you this? Is that all right? So let's say we're going to draw a number line. I'm going to make an open number line. So here's 0. And I'll just put, I'll do my best. I'm not the best at writing on here, sorry. How can I do that better? 4, that's a 3, and then a 5.
well, if you need to, you can just separate them more and write larger.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, does that make sense to you, Layla? Sorry, I'll just go 1. Just pretend these are equally spaced, okay? So one way we can look at this is on a number line. So if I start at 0, what's my first number here?
5 or -5.
-5. So do I go to the left or to the right?
We go to the left.
Yeah, to the left. So I'm going to use a different color. Okay. So if I was to start at 0, I'd go to the left. And do you see that this is -5? It might not be the best -5, but it's -5. Can you see that? So we're going to start there. Okay, so then if we add 2, do we go to the right or do we go to the left?
We go to the right.
To
'cause
the
it's
right.
Positive.
Okay, so it's positive. I go to the right. So where will I end up at if I go to the right 2 spaces?
-3.
Okay, -3. So I'm just going to kind of do my best. Okay, I really want to redo this. Can I redo this over here?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Eraser. It's just, I don't
There
want
you
it
go.
to look
So
bad.
just make a big line.
Okay. Let's do this a little. So I'm going to, this is called just an open number line. Make a line. I can write whatever I want on it. And just for our expression here, I'm going to go ahead and go from -5 to 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way with this here, okay? Make a little arrow. So we are working with -5 plus 2 plus 5. That's where I think, yes, because you said you wanted to change these 2 negatives to a positive. All right, so now let's go ahead and show what this looks like on a number line. I think we left off with starting at 0 and then moving to -5, right? Because that's our first number. And then you said to add 2, which way were we going to move?
Right.
To the right. And how many spaces to the right?
2.
2. So here I am at -5. I'm going to come back 1 space, 2 space. And that would, where would I end up at?
-3.
Yep, so right now I'm at -3, all right? And then I still have to do what?
+5.
+5. So which way would I move?
To the right.
To the right. So can you show me where I'm going to end up at? At 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and draw the line. And then I saw that you kind of used your fingers, so let's just do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and so then where do I end up at?
+2.
+2. So that differs from this one here, which we ended up with 8. So what do you think now? What are you thinking? Do you think that this is correct? Do you think this one's correct?
I think this one.
You think that one's correct? What's different about this one and this one?
You only change the 2 to a positive instead of turning the 5 and the 2 to a positive.
Okay, so if I were to change this to a positive and subtracted 2, I would have ended up with 3, right? But in this case, we had a -5. You can see it here. We start, and then we came back 2 because we were adding 2, and then we added 5, and so that is correct. It's 2.
And here's another way to look at that, Layla. If we have -5 and +5 and we put them together, what do we end up at?
0.
0. So the -5 and +5 cancel each other out. What's left?
See right here?
So in the expression, if we have +5 and -5 and they cancel each other out to 0, what's left?
2.
does positive too, right? And that's where you ended up. All right, so
Yeah.
that's another way to look at it. Once you get good at it, you can go, oh, that negative and that positive will cancel out. I don't even have to do anything with them going back and forth like that. They just cancel. Does that make sense? All right, good.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to drop one more token? All right, get
Good
on
job,
over there.
Layla. Good job.
So, if you get the correct color this time, you will get a point. So, what color would you like to go for? And if you want to take the one out of there already, because something won't land right on top of that, it'll go off to the side.
I'll do yellow.
You can go yellow?
Actually, red.
Red. All right, we're going red. All right. And, ooh, close again. All right. Well, we'll see how Layla does with some other problems after that. But, Hilda, have you been to a doctor recently, in the last 6 months?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Were you able to go into the office?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
There are a lot of times when it's difficult to go into a doctor's office, one, because of during the pandemic it was difficult to do that, or people are far distances away from an office to be able to go to. We had an opportunity to visit a doctor who does it telehealth-wise. We're at Telehealth Docs Medical Group, and with me is Quan Louie. How are you today, Quan?
I'm doing well, Mike.
So what is your role at Telehealth Docs Medical Group?
Well, I am the Executive Director of Telehealth Docs Medical Group, and I'm the one that formed the company in 2011.
So it's been around since 2011. You're the CEO, so you are the head honcho. You run it all.
Well, yes, pretty much
There
so.
we go.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got the guy at the top, and you were at the symposium, which is where we met, and you had something pretty interesting. But before we get to that, explain a little bit of the difference between telehealth and telemedicine.
So basically, telehealth overall could represent medical education and non-medical stuff, whereas telemedicine is the actual interaction between the physician and the patient.
All right. Well, we are doing robots in the workplace, so
Yes.
let's check out one of the stars of the show, shall we?
Absolutely, sounds
All
great.
right.
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go from Telehealth Docs Medical Group, the first star of the afternoon. So, is the robot's name Sheldon, or that's just a sticker that happens to be on the robot?
That just happens to be a sticker, but that's how we.
That's
what we
actually
call 'em.
from the symposium. So nice. So
Absolutely,
very, very good.
yes.
So Sheldon, if you're watching, you're even more famous now. And now we're going to go back to one of the exam rooms, correct?
Absolutely. We're going
All
to go
right.
back to the exam room where we're going to show you the different peripherals and how we conduct a telemedicine visit.
All right, let's check it out.
All right, let's do it.
All right, well, Quan confidently has put this robot in my hands now. So we're going to take Sheldon and head on in. We'll go to the exam room. All right, so we've got Sheldon in the exam room, and here we are in the exam room. And what happens next, Quan?
We have our patient here and our nurse, Natalie, who's going to give us a demonstration of the otoscope, which is a scope that's going to check out the eardrum. So whatever we show here on the screen is actually what the physician sees on the other end. The other end meaning the physician could be 200 feet away or 2,000 miles away.
All right, great. Well, let's go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna gently grab your ear right here and place this inside.
So as you can see, that's a high definition picture of an eardrum, which they have told me, physicians stating that this is actually better than seeing them in person at times.
I was going to say, because it seems as though you can see more detail and further in
Absolutely.
than you would with, I mean, the naked eye, obviously, but then even with the scopes that they have in an office that we're accustomed to.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. And with technology today, we can have peripherals that can do EKGs, eardrums, skin, anything. So we can provide probably about 80 to 90% of what an actual physical office can do now.
And as far as the doctor is concerned, if they need the scope moved or something, that's what can be done
Oh,
by the person
absolutely.
on this end.
Absolutely. So we have the nurse who becomes the hands of the physician.
Okay.
So with this technology, we can provide health care to practically anybody in the world.
I was going to say, as long as you've got the communication and the setup,
Absolutely.
you can go anywhere and communicate with anyone.
Yes.
All right. So other than the ear, what are some other applications we can take a look at?
Well, we're going to take a look at the general exam camera. So they're going to show an example of the close-up of the skin, for example, like a mole or whatever. Unlike regular brick and mortar clinics and things like that, our physician pool comes from all over the country. In fact, we even have physicians from all over the world now that can cater back to Bakersfield and back to Kern County. So instead of 2-3 months wait to see a specialist, now maybe a week or so. So as you can see in this example, we can show the different skin tones, things like that. That's one of the moles. Mike, would you like to use your hand?
Sure, why not? Let's go ahead.
Let's see it.
So the dermatologist can say, hey, take a look at this. Let's zoom in on this or that. Or
So if I'm not mistaken, that's my epidermis you're looking at?
That's correct. That's
All
your
right,
skin.
see that?
Fancy
Using
word.
some of
Look at
that,
that.
knowledge from grade school right there.
like you can see, like you have good skin. Yeah, let me take some dry
I'm
skin.
lucky so far there.
I mean, here's ones with moles and things.
And one of the nice things with this technology is that these peripherals can also take pictures, and that can be sent directly to the doctor as well.
So here's
That's where they can
so
start.
so here we have the physician here communicating with the patient. So we have this interaction, so they can see the scopes. And it's
And can
practically-
talk to you as they're looking at it themselves.
Absolutely. So basically, as if they were in the room themselves.
This is quite a setup, and it's a good thing you're not looking at my face to see what I missed while I was shaving this morning, but as close up as that gets and how detailed that is and the clarity with it, and it's just amazing how clear that is. And here's another question for you, Kwan. So I know patients come in and they're in the exam room and you got this set up.
Right.
Is there a mobile way of doing it where if somebody wasn't able to leave their house,
Absolutely.
you can go there?
So due to the pandemic, we pivoted, teledocs have pivoted so that we can treat patients in their home right now. So unfortunately at the home, you can't do the vitals like you normally would, but we can at least provide them the care during that safe environment.
All right. Well, you know what? From Telehealth Docs Medical Group, Kwan Louie, nice to meet you. Thank
It's a
you.
real
And
pleasure.
sharing with us your robot in the workplace.
No problem. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, once again, a big thanks to Kwan and all of his staff that helped us out that day. And also, thanks for having Kwan invite us down to his place because I met them at the symposium. We were talking about it and stuff like that. And we were talking about how we were doing robotics on Do the Math this year, and that was just a perfect thing to do right
Yeah.
there. And you were mentioning that you did a teleconference call with a doctor.
I have.
And
I
how
have.
was that experience? Because
I
I've
think
never
it's-
done one myself
I
yet.
think it's, I mean, it wasn't quite like this, but I think it's pretty awesome that you can see them FaceTime, face to face,
Right.
and digitally or virtually, and they can still help you. And so I thought it was really great. I've used it for my children, and yeah, they're able to help you and really talk to you and listen to you. And then if there's any additional things they need, they'll ask for those. But
Right.
yeah,
Well, you
it
know
worked
what?
out.
I mean, the reason we're doing it this year is just to see how impactful robots are in a lot of areas of our lives that sometimes you don't even think about.
Right.
So especially, we started off out at Cal State and doing the baseball field with the GPS, with the lines, and all sorts of different
That's
things.
so
we've been doing
amazing,
this
though.
year.
It's just a great time to be live.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was just watching something about LASIK surgery and how they used to use the scalpel to cut the cornea. Now there's a robot doing it with lasers, so you don't have any of that potential error, just like when we did Da Vinci, that robot over at Mercy Southwest. But anyway, we
Yes.
keep on going about that. We have
Yes.
Layla needs to get some more work in. All right, Layla, you ready? All right, over to the board, young lady. So I will give you the problem now. So we have -4, and start all the way over on the left side because this is not going to be a short one. That's fine. Yeah, you've got some magic in you turning that thing colors different ways there, all right? So we have -4 plus 2 plus 6, and work your way down a little bit, -7, minus 3 plus 1 minus 8. So, you and Hilda go ahead and tackle that one.
All right, Layla, how do we want to start? What do you think?
Maybe by adding all the numbers, like all the ones that have to be added.
So thinking about, when you say added, are you thinking about all of these right here that have the plus in front of them?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good, I agree. Let's do it. So let's take those numbers. Can I go ahead and maybe circle them?
Yeah.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
6.
The 6, okay. And what about, is there one more I think we said?
The 1.
Okay, perfect. So what did you want to do with these 3 numbers?
Add them.
You want to add them. All right, so I'll just keep the plus in front just so that we know that it represents these 3. And what would you end up with if you were to add all those?
9.
Okay, perfect. I agree. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Now what should we do next?
Subtract all the numbers.
Okay, and so when you say all the numbers, which numbers are you thinking about?
These 3.
Okay, so let me get another color. So this one here,
Yeah.
and this one?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you said this one?
Yeah.
All right. And do we see any other numbers?
No.
All right, so we're gonna take this one, the 3, and the 8. Okay, so what do you want to do with these numbers here?
So subtract all of them. So I'll start with the biggest, which is 8, and I'll subtract 3, which is 5. And then if you do 5 minus 2, it would be negative 2.
Okay, so right here you said 8 minus 3. And so I'm gonna kind of walk us through this, right? So this 8, do you see this in front there?
Yeah.
So what does this one represent?
What do you mean?
So, okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. Is this considered positive or negative? This one right here.
Negative. Well,
Okay.
it looks negative.
It looks, okay. You want to try to use our number line really quick? Can we do that really fast? Okay, let me do this. And I also want to go back to the original problem because I'm wondering, where does this number fit?
Probably in the end.
Do you think it would go here with these? Yeah. Let me see if I can erase that really quick. Okay, so let's go and take this. Are you okay taking that 4 and adding it there? Because I think it looks the same as all the others. Yeah, and these all look the same, the +1, the +6, the +2. And if you think of these as minuses, like I think is how you're seeing them, -7, -3, -8, -4. All right, so let's do this on our number line. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it may not be the best number line, but let me put 0 here. So where am I going to start? What's my first number?
Your first number is 7.
Okay, 7. And you see that minus right in front of it? So see how this is a 7? And if I was to put this in front, do you know how you would read this number?
-7.
-7, correct. And so if I'm at 0, where can I start with my -7? To the left or to the right?
To the left.
To the left, exactly. So I'm just going to jump over and go to -7. Okay, so this represents this first number. Now, if I -3, which way would I go? To the left or to the right?
To the right, because it's a +3.
Okay, but what about this operation right here?
That would be negative, so you would go to the left.
So I'd go to the left. So how many spaces would I go to the left?
3.
3. So let's just go ahead and go 3 spaces. 2, 3, and then what number do you think I'd be at right there?
-10.
-10, okay. And now there's another one here.
-8.
So which way, left or right?
Left.
Left. Can I just go ahead and make a big jump of 8? So if I jumped 8, where would I be?
-18.
Okay. And then I think we have one more number.
-4.
And so which way, left or right?
Left.
Left. So where would I end up at?
-22.
-22. Okay. So Mike, what do you think? Does that work for this expression here?
That will work for that. For the negatives, you do end up at -22.
Okay. Good job. First of all, high five. Okay.
Now, what about the positive numbers?
So we're not quite done yet. You see that? So we were able to first combine our positives, and then we were able to combine our negatives. So now we have these two quantities that we need to put together, okay? So we have like a new expression. So how do you think we should tackle combining the 9 and the negative 22 so that we can figure out what number that would be when you combine them?
By adding it.
Okay. And so how do you want to, where would you start?
With negative 22.
Let me see if I can get another color so we can kind of write that. So negative 22. And then we're going to add the 9. So now how are you thinking about this one right here? How do you think about that?
We'll start on 22 and then move 8 spaces.
Okay.
Or 9 spaces.
So where would we end up if we did that? So we're at negative 22. I'll just do green, okay? Let's see if I can do the best here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if that's going to end up right where we should.
Well, you're a little off as far
I'm a
as, but
little
you're not
off.
spacing everything out
Yeah.
equally either. So
let
just
me-
think about the numbers 22 and 9. What's the difference between them?
And I'm going to erase that just because I don't want people watching to think let me be a little more precise, and you keep thinking about what the difference is so that we can do that. I'm going to actually erase this and put 9, and then I want you to think about the difference or the distance between, okay. So 9 would be right here. No.
Or
For
you're just going to add 9 to that.
It
Just
would
add 9.
be negative 13.
Negative 13. Okay, and how did you come up with negative 13?
By doing 22 minus 9 instead of 22 actually adding the 9.
Okay, and how come you are now thinking about it being subtracted?
Because you have to move to the right, so that would be getting less than the negatives.
Got you. So starting at negative 22, if we're adding 9, you said you're going to the right, which means you're moving towards
0.
towards 0. I love it. And then you're saying that if I moved over 13 spaces, I would be at, 9 spaces, I would be at 13, negative 13. Okay. And I want to say you are correct. So I could go back 9 and I'd end up at negative 13.
There you go. Nicely done. So you were able to take that expression and finally come up with negative 13. So Layla, for some great work today, you've got yourself a meal courtesy of our friends at Gorilla Burger. So congratulations on that. Hopefully when you go down there, Lydia is there. Just tell her, say Layla, say Lydia, I'm Layla. I was on Do the Math, and she's going to give you everything that you could possibly want and more, because she loves Do the Math and she loves all the kids that go down there. So when you go down, if you remember it, just ask for Lydia and see if she's there. We'll be back with more right after this.
I joined the United States Navy my senior year of high school. February, my senior year of high school. I joined to become a firefighter, but part of being a firefighter in the Navy back in the day is they taught you ship's maintenance, and welding was one of those skills that came along with ship maintenance.
Mr. Buzz's class, we're learning everything from grinders to the torch to the plasma cutter to stick welding, wire welding, including flux and MIG. Right now we're working on our structural test right now.
What we teach is there's a lot of hands-on, so you have to want to work. You have to want to work in uncomfortable conditions. We'll deal with metal temperatures greater than the surface of the sun. That's around 8,000 degrees. We can get you up to around 15 grand easy in that shop. And so you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It is hard work. You're dealing with metals. Structural steel fabrication is big iron, so you know it's going to take a physical toll, but in this business and welding, the harder you work, the luckier you get. going to be giving you math all day long, converting fractions to whole numbers to fractions, fractions to decimals. I mean, you've got to have a basic understanding of math, and you're going to be doing it in your head.
Well, you need to learn how to read a tape measure, first of all, and how the tools operate, change the grinder wheels, set your machine, to know your voltage, your amperage, and your wire speed. Patience, yeah, because when you're first starting off, you're going to mess up a lot. And in order to get better at that, you're going to have to communicate with other people, watch them what they're doing, and ask questions, because if not, you're just going to get stuck. Well, I've always liked putting stuff together. And I always thought welding when I was like younger, I thought it was always pretty cool. And I always used to see like the trucks around town, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw this class, and I was like, oh, I want to try it out. Yeah, right now, like I said, we're working on the structural test. So we're going to be doing stick welding with that one and flux core welding with that one. So if we pass those, there are 2 certifications in structural steel. And then our forklift certification too, we're going to get that one as well. And there is another certification, a pipe one, but we haven't gotten any pipe in yet. Well, after I complete this class, I want to go to PG&E for an apprenticeship. But obviously, there's stuff that goes along with that. So I might have to work a little bit more after I get out of this class, but that's what I want to go do, work for PG&E.
If you don't make a personal connection with a student, you have no hope of actually teaching them. And so my philosophy is to build a relationship, an interpersonal relationship with my students, find out who they are, why'd you come here, what are your goals, how can I help you reach those? And the more we build that relationship, the greater the accountability and the greater the results in the end, and the more fun we have doing it. And the favorite part of my job is to see them come in the door with their dreams and do my best to point them in the right direction and build knowledge and skills so they can realize their goals. And then the really cool thing is watching them hit their goals and go out and get those good paying jobs and build a career, a life for themselves.
And once again, a big thanks to all the staff and students over at the ROC and CTEC Center Pavilion. They've got quite the complex out there. Yeah, we've had many opportunities to go out there. But big thanks especially to the students, because all of the things that you are seeing this year, and they even started last year, are entirely produced by the students with guidance from the staff. But it is the students that are producing all of these pieces. So nice work from all of the students over at CTEC and ROC. In studio with us, we have Layla, a 5th grade student from Panama Elementary. And we're going to do one more problem with negatives and positives. You good? All right. And we'll see if you can get over to the prize table again, because you've already won. I think we've got 3 points. We need to get 1 more point to make a clean sweep of that table over there. All right? So here we go. 7 minus 4 minus 2 plus 7 minus 2 plus 1. So, Layla, how do you want to do that problem?
I'm gonna take all the positives first. So the 7, the other 7, and the 1, and I'm gonna add them all together, which is 15. And then I'll add the negatives. And so that would be 6. Which would equal -8. And then I would add the 2 together. So 15 plus 8.
Now, are you going to add the 8 because you had a -8?
I must subtract the 8.
You can rewrite it over here if you want, Layla. That's fine.
So it's 7 and positive 15, or 15 is greater than 8, and the positive was 15, so it would be positive 7.
Are you positive that it's positive 7?
Yes.
You feel positive about that?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
You can't go back on it.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yes.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll give you one more point. So now you've got 4 points for 4 correct problems. Head on over to the board one more time. Pull out that token if you would like, or you can leave it there. Now, this is probably going to be the last time you get to drop a token. You've gotten close. So which color do you think you'll end up on now?
Red.
You going to try red again? All right. Now hold. Why are you dropping it there? What is your thinking?
Because the reds are right in between right here.
Right in between it, right? All right, go ahead. Let's see how it works. Ooh, so close. You got right between the 2 reds, though, but you got green. So, Layla, because you did get 4 questions correct, for getting 1 problem correct, you've got the bracelet there. So why don't you go ahead and grab that. For getting the 2nd problem correct, you've got the little Post-it right there, the multicolored ones. Those you can like tab some marks and things like that in books and stuff like that, little notations if you need to. For getting the 3rd one correct, you've got yourself the lanyard right there. And because you were able to explain that final problem on your own, and you were positive that it was positive 7, you've got the Frisbee also. So nicely done. You've got all 4 of those correct. 636-4357 is the phone number. We're going to go to the phones right now. And Adrian, how are you today?
Good.
Good. And Adrian, what grade are you in?
4th.
All right. As soon as you're ready, read the problem that you're working on.
Multiplication is vertical.
All right. So you're multiplying some numbers?
Yeah.
What's the first number? I think it was 636. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So 636 times what?
8.
All right. So times 8. So Hilda, Adrian is calling and you guys can converse, but she can't see what's going on. So here's where your verbal skills will kick in a lot.
Okay, Adrian.
And I will give you 4 minutes to solve this problem.
Okay, so Adrian, where do you want to start? Help me get started. Where would you start? How have you been working through multiplication?
I was working.
Do you start with the ones place? Are you multiplying like 8 times 6 first?
The first time tried it, my teacher hasn't yeah.
Multiply the 8 by the ones place?
2 things I think you need to know is that there's a little delay with the phone, and this is very new to Adrian. So you might just want to go through it and how to do it.
Okay.
Since you have 3 minutes now.
Okay, Adrian. So I'm going to first solve this in a more traditional way as an algorithm. So usually we start with that 8. So you have 636, and you want to think about the number you will end up with if you were to, have 8 groups of 636. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. Okay, so it's like adding 636 plus 636 plus 636. Now, the way I can do this is by multiplying 8 by each of the place values. So I can start by 8 times 6 in the ones place. Okay, so 8 times 6 gives me 48. There's different ways I can do this. So I can write 8 and then we can put the 4 in the tens place. For those people that are watching on TV, they can see what I'm doing right now. They understand that this is a very traditional algorithm for multiplication. So I'm hoping that as I walk through it, you're able to understand that 8 times 6 is 48, and so I would put the 4 in the tens place and then bring the 8 into the ones place. Then I would start with the 8 again and say how many, or 8 times 3. So now it's actually, the 3 represents 30. So I'm thinking now of 8 times 30, just so that you know. You know, we say 3, but it really is the tens place. So 8 times 3 is 24, and then I still have to add the other 4 that I have. So 24, and then 4 more would give me 28. And so I can bring the 8 into my solution, and then carry that 2 into the hundreds place. Does that make sense, Adrian?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, because I wasn't sure how you're doing it in your classroom right now. And then last, we're going to multiply 8 times that final 6, which is in the hundreds place. So 8 times 600, if we want to think about it by place value. We know 8 times 6 is 48, and then 2 more. What's 48 plus 2 more, Adrian? 50. Perfect. So when then I write that, I end up with 5,088. So it looks like this is one way you could multiply 636 times 8. And it sounds like this is how you've been doing it in your classroom. So I hope that helps you.
So Adrian, hopefully that does help you, and thank you for calling in. Remember, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 most Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And for calling in and doing that problem, you've won yourself a pass to Holiday Lights at Com. So congratulations on that. I'm sure your family will be very pleased that you got them a free pass to go to Holiday Lights at Com. Have you ever been to Holiday Lights at Com? Do you know?
I think one time.
You think one time? It was pretty nice. Do you remember anything about it much?
There was a lot of lights.
There's a lot of lights. Well, you know what? Would you like a shot at going to Holiday Lights again? All right, head on over to the board. We're going to give you another shot at this, young lady. So, go ahead and take out that token. And I'm going to give you 2 chances, because there are 2 tokens there. I'm going to give you 2 chances to pick the color that you think. Now, once you drop 1 token, if you go, oh, I don't want that color anymore, you can change color. So with your first token, what color do you think it will land on?
Blue.
Blue? All right, go ahead and drop 1. Whoa, check it out on the first try. Holiday Lights at Com is yours. All right, hot shot. Now you got the hang of this. Do you want to take that token out or leave it in there?
Leave it in there.
Leave it in there. So your second token, where do you think this one will now drop?
Red.
You want to try red? All right, go ahead and try it. A good strategy going right over it.
Oh,
Ooh,
so
so close.
close.
Come on back over here, Layla.
So close.
But it's nice that you did on the first try. You got yourself a holiday light pass for your family. So did you learn a little something today? Good. Did you have fun today?
Yeah.
All right, good. That was the important thing. I know you had fun today because you were like, oh yeah, I went to Pasadena, went to JPL, NASA, and stuff like that. But did you have fun on the show?
Yeah.
Good. That's what I wanted to make sure of. Hey, remember, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30, and until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.